Hello, we are going live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are joining me now at the live, or maybe you're watching the replay of this, but it's fantastic to have you here. My name's Heather, if we haven't had the opportunity to meet yet, and I am a business coach, business strategist, and today we're talking about lead generation. What I want you to think about is, what if you came in today and you had 360 eager people to connect with you about your exact service, exactly what you do. Like there you're at, 360 of your ideal clients that are saying, tell me more, let's chat, let's connect. Wouldn't that be fantastic? That's what happened to me today. That is exactly what happened to me today. From the lead post, which we're going to talk about today, with the lead post we did yesterday, we generated about 360 eager people. Now, it's kind of hard to tell because we'd have about 240 comments per lead post, but of course we were in there interacting and chatting also. So we believe it to be about 360 between the three sites that we use. And so now I'm going to tell you how it happens, and I'm going to tell you why it doesn't work and when it works. And so hang in there with me. That's exactly what we're going to talk about today. However, what I would like to do first is, if it's okay, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I think it's important you know where I'm coming from and what I do. A lot of people get out there on social media and give you ideas and tell you what you should be doing. And they don't know what they're doing, right? They have no backup, no history to be able to give advice in the area that they're giving advice in. And that is not me. I have been around a while. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. I spent my first 17 years in corporate America working for the same company. And I climbed that corporate ladder, took a lot of leaps of faith, moved my family around, was an executive director super early for one of the largest publicly traded companies in the nation. Did that for a while, ended up doing business acquisitions. It was amazing. However, we hit a point where the company really had lost their mission. I'm like, man, this isn't good. And when you lose your mission like that and you work for another company, you can't do anything about it. When you have the beauty of running your own business, you get to be the one that declares your mission and make sure that you stay strong in that area. So because of the timing and what was going on, it was time for me to do something different. So we, after 17 years, I gave notice and we moved back to South Dakota so that my husband could take over the family farm. And I became a financial advisor. And I thought, great, I'm going to use these entrepreneurial skills that I learned in corporate America, and I'm going to run my own business. What I did not know was the difference between captive and non-captive in the financial world. And if you are from the financial world, which a lot of my followers are financial advisors, you know that is a big thing, captive versus non-captive. I was captive. However, I hung in there for about 10 years. And the first few years of financial advisor was fantastic. First couple of years were great. And then didn't go so good. And then I had that thing that happens to almost every entrepreneur. I had a really bad year, really bad. And I thought I got to do something. And so I was, and it was 2020, right before COVID hit. I thought, well, I'm gonna get on social media and go to some of this free stuff, because that free stuff was just starting to come out, and then COVID catapulted it, right? But I was getting my feet wet. And I'd had a few coaches, but nothing real serious. And so I went to this challenge, 5-day challenge, and then I ended up signing up for the program. And I knew when I wrote that check for that coaching program, it had to work. It was going to work, or I was going to put my tail between my legs, go home and tell my husband how much money I spent on this coaching program and that I had to close my business. Like that's where I was. And some of you can relate to that. And so I did that. And when I went in there, I needed a sales system that was congruent with who I was. That's what I was saying at the time. I need a sales system that's congruent with who I was. I needed a lead generating system, honestly, too, that would bring the right people to me, that was congruent with who I was. That calling friends and family, it just wasn't it for me. Cold calling was not it for me. I needed something else. The other thing I needed someone to believe in me. Somebody that says, you got this, you can do this, you're awesome, we believe in you, and could tap into those skills or confidence, will say, that I had lost along the way. And so I found that because I made, can I talk? $60,000. $60,000 in just like a few weeks, like 6 weeks, something like that. It was crazy. Like it blew up. It was absolutely nuts. And I'm like, there's something about this coaching thing. Like this works. And so I knew I'd never be without a coach, and I wasn't. And so I continued in the program, obviously. And then shortly after that, the coach that had been a professional coach for years, a business coach, had said, like, I'm going to make you my entry-level coach. And so I did all the entry-level stuff for her for about 5 years. So I learned so much, and I didn't have to do the marketing part of it. I just did the coaching, and so was able to cut my teeth and coach literally hundreds of amazing financial advisors on lead generation is what I did. And so that went on. And then a couple of years ago, about 2 years ago, I decided time to really go out on my own. And so I started my own financial advisory firm and stopped the coaching at the time. And it was about a year into it, and I thought I'm missing something. And I'll tell you that story a little bit later on how I got back into coaching by myself. But I have my own coaching program now. So that's my story. Now, I want to dive into just a other quick thing as you're thinking about coaching. And this is I'm not in my best room today because I have internet issues, but we're live and we're gonna make it work. So there's a figure 8 up here. I don't know if you can see it. It's a figure 8. Draw a figure 8 on your paper if you're taking notes. This is what coaching does for people, and this is what coaching does for me. And what I do for people when I coach, right? So we have a figure 8. We have a B for belief. You got to borrow someone else's belief. When you go into coaching, you borrow belief. When I signed up for that coaching program, I borrowed somebody else's belief. I'm like, they have a system. I believe their system works for them, and I'm going to do it. That's all you need to know. Then then we take action. So that's the do it part. So I believed in the system, even if I did not believe in myself. And I took action. I took the action. Took the action. Take action. Write that down. And then I had an experience that was positive. So that's how we gain skill. That's how we get a breakthrough. That's how we get out of the dumps, get out of being unstuck. It's simply a figure 8. We find somebody that knows something we need to know, that's got a system. We do it just as they write the system, as it's written. We don't question it. We do it. That's what I did. The coach would tell you it worked because she did it. I didn't question it. I just did it. She said, send this message. I sent the message, right? It's Facebook messaging. It's way easier than cold calling. So I borrowed the belief. I took the action. I was talking to another advisor the other day, and she runs a large firm, brings in tons of new advisors all the time. And she said, the deal breaker is showing up. Show up. Take the action. She knows if you show up, you're going to make it. Take the action. So borrow the belief, take the action. Then you have the experience. And then you know what happens? You level up and you keep going in the figure 8, right? So that's how that works. But that's what I got from that coaching experience. And that's what I do for people. And that's what you will do if you're a coach or a consultant. That's the key and the crux of how you help people. So that I wanted to talk about. Now, I know you're here because you want to learn to market like a pro. You're like, show me how to get the leads. And so we're going to talk about that. But what I'm going to do here is like kind of showing you the last scene of a love story. And it doesn't matter if you like regular love stories or romantic comedies or whatever it is. Think about the last scene. So you show up in a movie theater and you walk into that, amazing movie that is a romantic comedy or whatever kind of romance. And you get to the end and you see just that screen where they're, oh, I love you. I love you. It's so amazing. It's so fantastic. Right. And you're like, okay. That's it, right? Like, it's like, that's good for them, but you don't know everything they had to go through. Like maybe they got lost or separated or hadn't seen each other since Boy Scout and Girl Scout camp. I don't know, right? Like whatever it is. So you just see the last part. When I tell you about lead posts, I'm just showing you the last clip. That's all you're getting. And I know people want to see the last scene. You're like, you want to fast forward to the last scene? Doesn't do you any good, does it? No, you got to see the whole movie to understand that last scene. Same with marketing. Same with marketing. You got to understand the whole process before that last scene is going to work. But let's dig into what I'm talking about with lead posts. So a lead post is simply a post that calls out to your ideal client in a place that they hang out in and say, hey, if you're interested in this, let me know. Hey, if this is you, let me know. Let's chat. That's all Lead Post is doing. Now, does it literally say that? No. But that's what that process does. It simply calls out to your ideal clients in the ideal place at the ideal time with the perfect language that makes them self-select that that's me. That is me. So think about how awesome that is, how powerful that is. It's very cool, isn't it? So how did I learn to do this? I did a little, shared a little bit that I went to a $97 challenge to learn this, right? Like it was crazy, $97 to learn this. The thing is, I saw the whole movie first, right? Like I wasn't just showing up. I'd been working on these skills for years. Remember, I coached for years. I had spent a ton of time with other coaches that I have hired over the years. And so I wasn't just I had everything laid out to make it happen for me in that challenge. Now, other people did not. They had some roadblocks. So when I signed up for this challenge, I should tell you the person that did it is a fantastic person. She's on QVC now. She's done marketing for the big guys like Budweiser. Like she has got a heck of a background and she taught us this process. Totally, into marketing. And so this was good. There was about 12 of us that signed up for this training. And I would get on the phone with different people to connect because that's what we do. We connect, right? I want to meet people. I want to talk. And so got on the phone with other people to connect. And it was interesting how negative they were. This ain't going to work. You don't think this is going to work, do you? I'm serious. Like it was that bad. I'm like, well, I know it's not going to work for you because you've got that attitude. So I'm not sure out of those 12 that anybody else ran with it. They either said they had a family crisis. I've never seen so many people with family crisis. They had a family crisis or they had that, this ain't going to work. I don't do what she does. It ain't going to work. Right. And so like they had the attitude. They just didn't show up. They're like, I don't really want my own business. I'm just here. Really? Like all that garbage. I don't know. Any of you say those things? Don't tell me if you do. I don't want to know. But it didn't work. And that particular woman I have in mind, who's a lovely person, but like never going to change the way she does her business. Never, ever. She wanted to be on social media. It's never going to happen because she shows up with that's not going to work. You know what I did? I thought, I don't know. It's an hour a day. It's Facebook. I'm there anyways. Let's do it. And I just did it. And it was amazing. So let me tell you the Lead Post. Ready? That started all this. This is it. This is all it said in a plain old box. There are 2,985 government grants for small businesses right now. Curious? That's all it was. And that started this whole ball rolling. So anyways, it's attitude, right? So we're talking about why Lead Posts work and why they don't. Attitude. You got to jump in. You got to do the work. If you got to do work to get the blocks out of the way, you got to do it. But you just got to believe in it. Just believe in the Lead Post. Just do it. I was talking to a new client of mine the other day and she said, well, if this works, and it wasn't this marketing. It was a different marketing process that we use. This Lead Post thing is, fast. Like if you need fast leads, like it's like I needed fast leads when my business was like, oh, right? Like I needed fast leads. This other process we were talking about was long. So we have fast leads and we have short leads, right? So this other process, her and I were talking about the other day, is long. It takes a long time. She said, well, if it works. I said, oh, it'll work. Like, it'll work. It'll take you 6 months, but it'll work. And again, that wasn't Lead Posts. Lead Posts, they'll work. You just got to do them. And you got to do them right. And you got to have the foundation laid. So it'll work. It'll work. The other thing that came up, I love when people ask me a question because it gives me insight into what people are thinking. And the question or the conversation that happened just in the last few weeks, we were talking about, Lead Posts, and I had gotten together and shared with somebody about them. And then she called me back and she was considering my coaching program. And she said, so I'm just going to get on social media and put affirmations out there and, ask questions and talk about stuff. And then people are just going to want to work with me. No. And I was so glad she asked me because I thought, okay, the fact that she walked away thinking that tells me I gotta share the details, right? Like I've got to send the message loud and clear. There is a process to this. And if you think just throwing stuff out there is going to get you what you need, it's not. And you probably know that because you've probably tried it. There is about 7% of people that are successful by throwing stuff out there, and I'll call them influencers. There's about 7% of people that set out on social media to be successful that become influencers. 7%. That's not high enough. For me, that's not fast enough for me. I need fast and I need high success rates, and that's what lead posts do. So, but you've got to understand the back of it. So let's dive into what am I talking about when I talk about the foundation? Like what am I saying? What does that mean? So when I'm talking about the foundation, what's the back part? I'm gonna share some of this to you, and I think it probably will sound familiar. And you probably can't see this. This is all right though. So the first one to write down, there's 4. Live your big dream. Live your big dream. God gave you a purpose in your soul. You are the only one that has that purpose and those skills, and your job is to figure out what that is and go out and do it. How fun is that? How fun is that? However, like you got to figure it out, right? We got to do the work to figure out what that vision is, and then we have to test it. And we use 2 methods to test our visions before we go into anything. Two methods to test them. So we're going to figure out your vision, and then we're going to test it to make sure it's something the market wants. That's number 1. Number 2 is serve with purpose. And that is becoming radically empathetic with your client, knowing exactly what they want. A coach I use talks about vanilla ice cream versus like a hot fudge sundae with whipped cream and sprinkles. And you want that kind of detail. Like everybody wants the hot fudge sundae with the caramel, or maybe you don't and you're repelled from it, and that tells you too, right? And so you want to know exactly what you want, exactly who you serve, right? Like the more specific you are, the more you're going to draw people into who you can help. That's why lead posts work, because you know who you help and they speak to them and only them. So you want to have, be radically empathetic about your ideal client. I'm going to share an example with this because I haven't shared this yet. Radically ideal client. So lead posts, connecting the dots here a little bit. If I went into one of my business groups and said, hey, what's the weather like today? Like, that's the dumbest question ever, right? Like, who cares? We run businesses and the weather has nothing to do with what we do. And so people may answer because they're bored, but you're definitely not going to get drivers or people seeking you. Like, that's just garbage. That's all that is. However, if I am a crop consultant and I go into some of my perfect groups with all my ideal clients in them, it's full of farmers in the Midwest, and I say, hey, what's the weather doing today? Oh, now we got something, because that matters to farming. Business, no. Farming, yes. You see, that's a really good example. Like, the weather one is really dumb in a business group. It is absolutely perfect in a farm group because they'll say it's raining like crazy. Interesting. Where are you at? Minnesota. Oh, see, you're in a conversation. Lead posts. You got it. You got to lay the foundation. Third thing is your offer. That's when the wheels fall off the bus sometimes. You need to know what you offer, how you offer it. I'm going to pick on someone, and if you're listening today, you're in the right place. I had a message. Same thing every day in the DMs, right? So, hey, tell me what you do. Tell me what you do. I want to learn what people do. I can't help you if I don't know what you do. So I said, tell me what you do. Well, this is what I got back. Well, it's complicated. That's a problem. Nobody's buying complicated. So we need to really know what our offer is and how we help people. And that's an example of it's complicated, not impressive to anybody. Nobody wants to buy complicated. No. Another one is, well, I'm not sure what you want to know. That was what I got about a month ago. I'm not sure what you want to know. Not a great start. And it was a 4-minute message that, I'm not listening to the rest of that. So we need to be just confident about our offers, know exactly what we offer and how we offer it. And we have to be thoughtful about the language that we use. I'm just hitting the high points. In my coaching program, we dig into all of these. This is why it works, guys. We do the work. That's why it works. And it's fun. It's fun. And then, and then once we know exactly what we're made to do and that it works. That there's a market for it. We know exactly who we serve, and we're radically empathetic about what they need, that we are blowing it out of the water for what they need. Then we have this offer with confidence. We come in with that, then we can market like a pro. So you can see how it all comes together. I'm almost at my time. I said I would only last 30 minutes. I'm almost there. So it's what I want you to know about lead posts is it's not random. Like you may be reading them and you're like, oh, that's random. It's not random. If they're working, it's not random. So you want to have that foundation laid. I'm absolutely here to help you. This is what I do every day. I help business owners generate business and generate leads to get revenue. What I do is help people tap into their God-given brilliance and create revenue-generating businesses. And I pride myself in making it happen in 8 weeks. If you do the work, you'll get the revenue in 8 weeks. And so if that sounds interesting to you, if any of this, you're like, man, I got to know more about that, I would love to just jump on the phone with you. We had done these groups in different ways. We've done small pop-ups. We've done large master classes. This is the best because I could get you the information when you can listen to it. And then what I need you to do is just click on the link that I'm going to put in here and book a strategy session with me. We're going to get on the phone. I'm just going to say, like, what's your big dream? Tell me what your big dream is. Like, what's your vision and how do you serve people? We're going to start with that. So if you have questions, otherwise, feel free to put them here. I'll definitely answer them, but I'd love to jump on the phone with you. Again, that link will be there. Hopefully this was helpful for you. We're real busy around here today with all those leads that came in, so I'm going to head out and respond to all those amazing people. But you have a great day, and let's move forward together and get you the leads you need. Take care.